Hey, what's up, everybody? We're going to talk about domestic violence, healing the circle. So recently, I was driving somebody on Lyft, and I'm not talking about you, Marissa. I'm talking about somebody else. I was driving somebody about Lyft. We're having a good conversation, and she had mentioned something, and she had said something important, and I was like, well, what you're saying right there, we need to be inclusive to all people in that situation. And I go, if everybody was in the world was like you and I, then that would work easily. But there's many different ways, and she like agreed like strongly. And then she said to me, I believe that men should listen to women more. And I kind of went speaking for 5 minutes about how good of a listener I was. And it was one of those situations that she wasn't saying it at me. She was agreeing I was there. But then I was like, I'm not always there. I'm not always listening as good as I should. A lot of times, sometimes an hour later, I'm like, oh, this and this. But the people aren't around for that, for the situation. So I wanted to listen to women more.
So now there's double. We got double the women action.
Listen to the movie. So I'm for you, male and female that are out there, that I'm going to be playing devil's advocate, and I'm going to be asking a lot of questions, and also speaking for voices of people that aren't in this car. And let's put it together. Do you see your thing popped down in the corner? Your YouTube channel.
Just popped I didn't see it.
Yeah, just popped up on the corner.
Divine alignment.
Yeah, it's divine alignment. Okay, so Krisna, Marissa.
Nice to meet you.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
We welcome
They got in the car and they were vibing immediately.
Yeah.
So less of me and the more of them, the better this will be. So Marissa, tell us about yourself.
So I'm a San Diego native. I was born in La Jolla, and I started a domestic violence recovery program, clinical research organization, because of the pandemic. And it was a reaction to the pandemic.
Response. There we go, not listening. Okay, go ahead.
It was a response and a reaction. I would say both are equally true. Due to the pandemic, I began to experience an increase of domestic violence in my life. Without saying too much, I do have a restraining order, and I'm also a participant in the Safe at Home program. And for people who don't know what that is, that's a government program to protect people's identities and conceal them for protection. And in an effort to combat domestic violence, I created a GPT for domestic violence victims to exit out of domestic violence at their own pace, and they get to ask questions.
What's a GPT?
It's a pre-trained, generated model. So it's an AI assistant, artificial intelligence. And it's basically like if you just go to your phone and you can create an app, which I will do for personalized people, to go to their phone or just click on the link, and they can click, if they get this GPT, which is free, they can just start selecting, like asking questions, and they have to, there's a legal disclaimer that's not to trade to replace a lawyer. It is there to guide you with your lawyer. So that way you can safely exit domestic violence, because domestic violence victims are the only ones that can gauge, their own safety. Whenever I tell people to leave, I tell them to leave quietly. That's the most dangerous.
Have you given any consideration to like the hand holding for when somebody's going through a traumatic situation, of how you can, I was going to say artificially, but like actually do that part, because, and also keep yourself safe, that you're not out there, even though I know you're willing to do it, the way that you can support people as they're holding their hand as they're going through this process?
Actually, the GPT already does that for you. It's already built in there to encourage you. And for example, I also have a self-care curl coach, artificial intelligence GPT.
What does that look like?
It's just like the same thing that we're talking about. You click on the app, and it's a curl coach. You tell it what your hair type is, and anything that you're struggling with. You can take a picture of your hair, and I actually cut my hair yesterday using I took a picture of my hair, and it said cut here, cut there, and it can set up a whole like wash day for you and tell you how to style it. And
coming from a male perspective, I mean my perspective, how would that help in the process? How does
so it also encourages you. It knows that. So my curl coach AI assistant GPT knows that I am a narcissistic abuse survivor, and it integrates that into my curl routine, to my entire hair routine, and it encourages me. It says things like, look at that encouragement on that curl growth, just like I'm encouraging you on your narcissistic abuse journey. You know, it says things like that, and it I feel like it keeps you engaged in self-care, first of all.
Yeah.
That's a really important thing for survivors and mental health, that you keep up with your self-care, because that is one of the first things that goes when people are struggling with being abused.
Yeah.
So it does do some uplifting, and that can just increase your...
It says self-care.
Yeah, oh, there it is. There you go. It increases your life, you know, longevity, just being happy in and of itself.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's so exciting to hear the new ways that AI is coming into our life to like provide us assistance and support, and this particular nuance that you're bringing up, Marissa, around like this self-care piece and self-love. I haven't spoken on this very, very much, but I am also a domestic violence survivor. And so I very much understand how it plays a very heavy toll on your perspective of your self-worth